and I'll stall a little bit for Bree's sake. I am going for...
Hi, I'm Xavier.
Hi, I'm Bree.
And welcome to MelodiFIGHTivalen,
which is extremely subjective Eurovision opinion tournament.
We are here with episode 3 and we're starting in round 2. So we've already removed half of our 32 songs and we're getting serious now. Equally serious is our guest, Callum Paget. Welcome.
Thank you. Hello.
We've been asking our guests a couple of questions, and based on what I know of your Eurovision knowledge, I'm quite interested to hear.
Good, great. Because...
could you please tell us what Eurovision is, in your words?
Eurovision is a big song contest that not only countries in Europe can join now.
Yeah, full marks. That's right.
Excellent.
Do you have a favourite Eurovision song?
Possibly. I've never actually... Frankly, I'm not that sure why you've asked me to be a guest. Happy, but confused, because I've never actually sat down and watched Eurovision or paid that much attention to it. So it will be interesting. I mean, I did work in a radio station for 4 years, and even then, I managed to avoid most of it. So I'm going to go and... was Waterloo a song? Was that... Yeah,
it was.
Waterloo's my favourite. There we go. Yeah.
There you go. See, there's some Eurovision knowledge right there. Excellent.
A little bit.
Myself and my co-host Bree, we're two Eurovision tragics, so we'll be getting up at 5 a.m. to watch it every year, including the semi-finals. So it will be very fun.
Yeah, I'm aware. I did live with you for a while.
This is true.
Xav, I remember the very early mornings.
Which is rare for me. This is all very subjective. It's just 3 random Australians' opinions, 2 Eurovision nerds, 1 Eurovision newbie. Yeah, it's all just random opinions and all in good fun.
We're really excited to have you on as someone that's not really into Eurovision, because the nature of the show is, particularly in Europe, it is watched by millions upon millions of people who have different opinions on it, different histories with it. People come in and out, so it's really good to get an outsider's perspective. It's a nice little difference for someone listening to it first time.
Let's have a look at the matches we'll be running today. These are the results from our first episode, the first half of the bracket. We're going to dive into our first match. We've got Ukraine and Italy, the winner of the contest and another popular one.
There is no degree of space between us. Leaving love, we are stars aligned.
1944 and No Degree of Separation, 2 really different songs. 1944, for Callum's info, was the winner of the contest as a whole and is about the Crimean Tatars were essentially like forcibly removed from the area, hence the like really high stakes of the song.
And that was obviously mirrored with the fact that during this time, Crimea was again annexed by Russia. So it was obviously a very politically charged time for this song to be around. I think what they have in common is that there's very about storytelling, both of them, and visual storytelling as well. Obviously with Italy, there's more support from the visuals of the staging to tell the story, whereas Jamala is just by herself. Jamala has more of an intensity in her voice, and I think that really plays to the power of the song, whereas I think Francesca has a more delicate movements through her voice that again works well with her music. If I'm nitpicking, out of the two, I think Ukraine used the native language really well in that music. It really added, didn't take it out. Whereas I think Italy didn't need to have the English part in it. But I like them both. I can't really do that, can I? Everybody wins. Everyone gets the ribbon.
Someone has to be eliminated. Yeah. Hey, Callum, I'm very interested to hear your opinion. Especially, first off.
Just so I know exactly what I'm talking about, which I don't. So Ukraine won. Theirs was 1944.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Cool. It's interesting because as I was watching that one, I was thinking, I wonder how much is being lost in translation here. And I found it a little bit dull, which is, I mean, she had, the singer had an incredible voice. I'm aware the first thing I've said is that I think the first, like the winner of Eurovision for this year, oh yeah, no, it was kind of boring. She had an incredible voice. I love the percussion underneath. And I love the way it slowly built over time. And as soon as I turned the song, like as soon as the song ended, I found myself humming it before I started watching the next one. So it definitely squirmed its way in there. The graphics didn't do it for me much. They were sort of there it felt sort of like, we have this, we need to do something with it. And that was my opinion until she had that amazing moment where she did the big build up and she was standing right in the center and all these like golden parts were coming in and almost like being sucked up into her, and then it all blossomed out into a beautiful gold tree. I loved that. That was gorgeous imagery. I felt like a lot of the rest was sort of there because they needed something to have. Whereas I found the visuals of the Italian one, that song was more fun. I think you're right, Bree. I was a bit distracted suddenly when I could suddenly understand it with the English sections in the Italian one. Yeah, didn't really add anything. I much prefer the visuals of that one. I thought it matched the song better. I'm a big fan of like those simple kind of paint splashes that were going along. At first I was trying to work out if they'd been really cleverly placed for the different camera angles, and then I realized they were just on the screen of the actual like television. And I was a little bit disappointed there because I love me some good graphical stuff.
these two songs are really hard to compare because they're pretty different. Musically, they're really good. At first listen, the Italian song sounds really simple, but there's some really interesting harmonies. This moment going into the second chorus where there's a real like close interval between the backing singer and the lead singer, and it's just it really pulls you into that second chorus. Going on a journey, I think that happens a bit more in 1944, but there's emotion in both, presented really differently. One's really like really high stakes emotion, and one is passion. And that's really preferential. So for some people, the 1944 would be like, that's a bit much. I'm here to listen to some nice songs. Comparing the two, the Italian one, you might want to be like, yeah, come on, give me more. So who knows? I guess I should know because I'm talking about my opinion. I really like the heavy emotion of 1944 because it seems genuine. I think if anyone was trying to go that hard and wasn't really feeling it, I'd be like, no, why stop? The vocal precision is amazing. There's in the traditional singing style, and then jumping into the pop English vocals, and then the operatic style at the end, and just all of them are right in the center of the note. They're all really controlled and specific, and there's not a lot of time between them. So I'm really impressed with that. And I think that edges out the vocal techniques of Italy, but the song doesn't call for it. I really love the colors of Italy. I think that's a really bright and inviting, that sort of watercolory thing. And I'm glad they deliberately showed the stands of all the props, but I also wish I couldn't see them. It'd be cool if they were floating, but that's hard to do. I did like her little grass disc she was standing on. That really helped the scene. Two very different songs.
Italy, I think it helps the song because, again, I visually think she looks like a tree in that grass, and it's very organic, so I think it adds to her performance. Where Jamala, I just think it's a nice outfit that gives her movement, but I don't think it adds anything necessarily.
It's that time already. So I'll go first. My vote is for Ukraine in 1944. I know Bree's still deciding, so let's send it over to Callum.
Sure, and I'll stall a little bit for Bree's sake. I am going for the Italian one. I don't know the names of this. Well, I do now. 1944 is the Ukrainian one.
That pause was very Eurovision announcer.
Yeah.
I've watched reality TV. I know how it goes.
I really, really love the Italian one. I think if it didn't have the English, it would have my vote. So I'm gonna go Ukraine.
We're moving on to the second match, which is the Czech Republic versus Lithuania. We have I Stand versus I've Been Waiting for This Night. Very self-centered songs there. I really enjoy these two songs. I thought they were a little different, but there's a few points that I'd like to compare them. They both have only them on stage, but they treat that really differently. Gabriella stood there and just was in her space. She had choreography. She turned and did the hand on the head thing.
Mistakes with the monsters in my head, but in the end you're standing there.
But I feel like she was very calm in her spot. She held her position and was in the space. But I feel like Donnie, who is a very comfortable mover, was really filling in as much of the time as possible. Like, I think he was doing stuff the whole time when he could have had a bit more stillness, perhaps. We talked about this in the first episode. The smoke covered the flip that he does. What I noticed watching it back now, I think the smoke is covering up the fact that he's flipping off a trampoline rather than just off his feet or off a platform.
Oh.
I
thought the smoke was there to hide the fact he was doing a change.
That too.
Like a quick change.
Maybe they deliberately did that to make it seem like the change was quicker because they had a really wide aerial shot.
He was just taking off his jacket, right? That's what he was doing.
And he sang the whole time through, which is cool. So maybe
yeah.
someone held the microphone and sang it. Or someone took it off. I don't know, but
so maybe it was less about him getting changed and more about we need time to drag the trampoline on.
Probably. They both had a reveal. His was a shirt off, hers was a hair out. Yeah, it was fun. Both dramatic, both about the same point in the song. All about that Eurovision like lift, so people on the third minute don't start getting bored.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. And I noticed this time he drops a whole word to breathe after that.
4,000 years through a million with the hungry.
He dropped the word tears, which I hadn't noticed.
I found myself getting excited when I noticed the hair change in the breeze. And then I realized to myself, that was the highlight, the fact that she let her hair out. And so I was sort of like, ooh, she let her hair out. Oh, that's the most exciting part of this song so far. I guess I found that song a bit dull. Vocally, she was incredible and she had an amazing presence on stage. I just found myself only sort of noticing when she would say, I stand, and it happened a lot. I've seen bits and pieces of Eurovision performances and often I'm like, whoa, wow, like look at all of this. And so when the Lithuanian came on, I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed that spectacle and the fact that the big lights, the big smoke and swirls and things kind of highlighted his dance moves. They were nice and in sync. They weren't just kind of changing for the sake of it. On the other hand, I feel like he really needed those. I'm singing the word move to the side and I'm literally sliding to the right. This is just something for you to do, you know? But I felt like that one was kind of Backstreet Boys style, shameless pop song. Like just sing along and enjoy it, and just really enjoy yourself. And I did enjoy it.
I think it's really funny that you said that you didn't like that when he said step to the side and he moved to the side, because one of my issues with I Stand was she was walking when she said the words I stand.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's like I'm walking, and then she's like I stand, and then when she got into the other word, she stopped walking.
Can she not have been standing for something? Not sit like it's not like. I mean, I'm just gonna dive in here, Bree. I'm just gonna have an opinion and be like, if I was sitting here, I'm not gonna be like, I sit, and then when I stand up, I change it to I stand. You know, she was standing for something, Bree, I assume. I'm not sure. I don't know. She might have been standing for her country, standing for freedom. She wasn't literally just singing about what her body was doing. Oh, my God. Leave her be. But, yeah, again, I get that. Yeah, I do get your point.
What was the worry that the guests wouldn't be as passionate as we are?
yeah, I think we're right.
I'm passionate about committing to the bit, and I will.
I think if we're looking at how the graphics worked with them, I found Gabriella's a bit jarring. Like, I liked the geographic at the start. I'm not a maths nerd, so they just were pretty shapes for me. But then I was unsure of why it turned into flowers afterwards. I really liked the image of the flowers, but I didn't get what that meant.
It didn't add anything to the performance.
I'm going to disagree with the flowers thing. I really like it. It was the sort of climax of the song went quiet, and then the flowers crept in, and then it was like, bam, flowers on the big like climax note of the
it was nice, but it just didn't link to the song.
Yeah.
Had there been a whole lot of like images of just people sitting and then they all stood up, that would have really pleased Bree. But instead it was flowers just falling down.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed, both songs were very repetitive in their choruses. I stand, I stand, I stand. I've been waiting for this night. I've been waiting for this night. But that's pop songs for you, I guess. I shouldn't complain about that. Let's do the vote. Bree, what are you thinking? Where are you? How are you feeling about these two?
Lithuania gets my vote. Donnie, I'm sucker for it. I think it's delightful. And I will keep waiting for whatever night it is when we meet.
I'm going to stand for my vote for the Czech Republic with the tiebreak. Our lovely guest Callum, what do you think?
I'm suddenly flooded with a sense of power and feel the need to hold it over you. But I'm going to go with Danny and Bree. Like you said, Zay, their choruses were quite repetitive, so I sort of went with the one that just sort of got me moving more in this case.
Congratulations to Lithuania getting through to our quarterfinals. Brings us halfway through this episode. So a little sad cross through Czech Republic. Still not quite as sad as my cross through Austria in the first episode. I'm still upset. We are moving on to Bulgaria versus Georgia. If Love Was a Crime versus Midnight Gold. We've got Bulgaria versus Georgia. Callum, what are your thoughts comparing these two?
Bulgaria was an absolute treat. That has been my favourite so far. It was tons of fun. It wasn't overly serious. The choreography was just a little bit of fun. And I just really, really enjoyed it. I was dancing along, having a great time. I was just really enjoying it and found myself singing along and then getting the words wrong because I've only heard the chorus once so far. But hey, it was good fun. To compare it with Georgia, I like the rock kind of song, but I kind of stopped paying attention. The performance itself didn't grab me at all. Like having the double vision thing was fine right at the beginning, but that never changed. It was always just like, this is our gimmick, yeah. And also the fact they were doing that and flashing in black and white and stuff meant we were never watching the real performance. It was always just watching the back screen. And I feel like if you're performing live to such a huge crowd, you want to do something for them, interact with your audience, rather than, hey everyone, we're right here in front of you, look at the screen, we might as well not be here, might as well be pre-recorded.
I agree with what Callum was saying about, I think the performance live, I don't know what that looks like because there was so much post graphics, there was so much done with the camera. I don't actually know what the people in the audience got from it. And I think that can be quite an interesting thing. I'm not sure. I'm sure it was still entertaining and fun, but a lot of those people then wouldn't know what the other stuff was. So I wonder what it would look like. I thought the guy looks like he's the guy from Oasis, which made me really think that was one of the influences. I think, does he say, I got a cigarette out of your bed?
From Your Bag, I think, was where the cigarette was from.
I was getting very confused.
Cigarette out from your bag. Yeah.
I reached around the bag and grabbed a cigarette out of your bag.
I think musically it's very interesting. I really liked it, but again, it's the one that I'd rather listen to rather than watch. But I do think they're very entertaining. Whereas Bulgaria, she's divine. I think a treat is a very good way of saying it. This is her second time at Eurovision, and I think that shows as well with her ease. She just seemed so in her element. She was having so much fun. It's an excellent one, and I agree that it's my favourite so far.
Bulgaria, unlike Georgia and even Lithuania and the Czech Republic, the editing and the graphics weren't conspicuous. They were part of it in a really easeful way, but there was actually a lot going on, but you only notice it in a supportive way rather than a distracting way. There were graphical dancers doing the chorus dance with her, doing that choreography. We were still watching her, they were just literally backing her up. But the Georgian entry is all production. There's every shot has some sort of edit to it, which is distracting. When there's that extra stuff, they're doing it because something else isn't there, which is weird because it's a good song. And structurally, I notice it's an interesting song because most songs, If Love Was a Crime is one of these, is verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, which is almost every pop song. But Midnight Gold, it goes verse, guitar solo, synth breakdown, guitar solo, verse, end. That middle section is really quite dissonant and intense, which I kind of appreciated that more this time than the previous season. Callum, let's hear your vote first. I think we already...
Once again, failing to keep the mystery. For the last one, I'll try and be mysterious about which one I prefer, okay? I think we go so far as to lie in order to be mysterious. But in this case, yeah, absolutely. Bulgaria was just a treat.
Bree, I think we know where your vote's going as well.
You're gonna pick Georgia? No, that's a lie. It's clearly Bulgaria. If picking her is a crime, then lock me up.
Let's do the time.
I will also be voting for Bulgaria, even though after those two votes, it doesn't matter. So congratulations, Bulgaria, through to our quarterfinals. It's Georgia finishing here at round 2. And we have one more match coming up with Estonia and Malta.
But not for me.
I can't get enough of your love, 'cause I feel like I can walk on water, and now I'm gonna
Play and Walk on Water, the presentations are really different and the performances are really different. And that's where I'm a bit torn because I really, really like the song Play. It's really jazzy and cool and it's got this like suave vibe to it and it's really mysterious sounding. But the performance doesn't match the performer. It just comes off as creepy, this like stare that he does into the camera. And it just doesn't suit him. I think if he was a bit more light and upbeat, it would have done much better. But I think it also comes across as false. I think he's trying to be cool, which doesn't work. Trying to be cool, you gotta just be yourself. But that said, the song is awesome. It's really well composed by the composer and performer of one of my favorite songs from the year before as well. But then looking at Walk on Water, the performance of it is amazing. She's at ease. She's such a pro, not holding back at all, even though she's pretty far along in a pregnancy on stage and just still smashing it. It just comes across as like a pop song. I think what really pulls Walk on Water along is the incredible performance more so than the composition itself. Because I feel like that song goes on water, on water, on water, on water. I feel like I can walk on water, on water, on water. She obviously got experience on stage and is just so at ease. And that ease wasn't really present in Play. So I'm torn. Call me Natalie Imbruglia. I'm torn.
I was trying to work out the best way to bring that up, and I could not work out how to.
So what you're saying, Dave, is convince you.
Yeah, totally.
I'm glad you liked both because I didn't really like either of them. Taking everything into account as a whole, dude was weird. And as soon as he started doing magician-related things, I even yelled to Xavier, "Of course he's a magician." I couldn't put my finger on it. Yeah, it was kind of creepy. He had the kind of vibe that was everything I've ever read about in books or seen in TV shows tells me that I'm a great catch for women. Like, look at me, I'm gorgeous, I'm in a suit, girls love confidence, like, hey, you, come here right now, kind of thing.
Was it American Psycho vibe? Is that what you're saying?
No, I wouldn't
Okay.
go that far. As soon as he started doing card tricks, I was like, that's it. He's a stage magician. That's the vibe. He has the stereotypical stage magician vibe. And also, none of that added to the song. I felt like I preferred the play song, but I much preferred, similar with Zabe, I much preferred the performance of Walk on Water. But the graphics and everything, I was like, why are there all these card motifs and things? It has nothing to do with the song itself. Oh, he pulled a card out of his sleeve. Oh, I see. It's heavy magician vibes. Now I get it. Now I understand everything else.
We do call them playing cards.
Oh, that's true. That's true, you do. Yes. I feel like an ignorant fool.
And it's not a stretch.
The key word here in these two performances is charisma. Walk on Water had all the charisma. Play had none, like performance-wise. But I loved the music. I loved the horns and the piano and the strings and stuff behind Play. I thought that all the backing track and everything and the actual music and it was fantastic. It really got me going. Walk on Water, yeah, it was a bit kind of safe. It was sort of dull and repetitive. I've still got the chorus going round and round in my head. First, I thought that dancer in the background, because of the framing, was like a stage guy running past, quickly panicking, grabbing something. He's dressed all in black. He's running in. You can barely see him. He kind of just did this. Hang on. Like a... Oh, I'm still in frame. Hang on. Like a... Ah! And ran past. I mean, feel free to use that footage if you want, Zabe. I don't know. Zabe and Bree, if you want to, you can. Go for it. But, like, yeah, he just kind of went past. And then his dancing was incredible. And her performance was amazing. But they didn't mesh at all. Aside from literally looking at each other and touching a few times, which got my social isolation anxieties going, I would have preferred it if she was on a big plinth or pillar or something singing and we were concentrating on him dancing, or he was dancing with someone else in the background. The two of them together were distracting. They were too different. There wasn't anything to sort of blend them together.
I think I agree, but in the way that I still don't know which way I'm falling. I almost think that dancer should have been put in Estonia's song. And if they're talking about pressing play and moving forward, they could have had the break dancers in his stopping. We're just going to press play and then he could have started moving. Because again, it's like a visceral, the lyric is we're pressing play, we're moving forward, which again, the card did nothing. Whereas if they had something to show that of literally the stopping and then the moving would be really cool.
See all your walls come down and just in place, 'cause that's the only way.
Yeah, so I think it's very true. I really love the song Play. I think it's so interesting that voice comes out of him. I think I said it in the last one as well. Like, it's not what you expect because he's, but if he had a better outfit and the playing card thing was gone or just was done better, I don't think it deserved to be last because I think musically I really enjoy listening to it and I think it's an interesting song. When it comes to Malta, I really dig the song, but the lyric that sticks in my head of the not perfect, but I'm A-okay, just reminds me of something my mum would say as like a, you're fine. I just think back to like Jedward when they did their, what was their water song? Waterline. And they actually played in a swimming pool and they had like live rain and stuff like that. And I feel like maybe we're talking about water, maybe there needed to be more to actually be about it or visually maybe more waves to try to bring that performance in because you're right, it's a simple song, particularly the chorus. So it's really about what you value more between a performance and a song.
I am still really torn. This one's really hard. I wasn't expecting to be held up by this one, but my vote is going to Estonia.
I'm going to pick Malta.
If we were just listening to the radio, it would be Play All the Way. I much prefer that song, but taking the performance into account, I'm going with Bree and Malta.
Malta through to our quarterfinals.
Along with Ukraine, Lithuania, and Bulgaria. Let's have a look at how the bracket currently stands. Next episode, we'll be looking at the rest of round 2 to see our final quarterfinal lineup.
That brings us to the end of episode 3 of MelodiFIGHTivalen. Callum, thank you so much for being an awesome guest.
My pleasure. It was good fun. I had no idea what to expect, and I really enjoyed it. Dare I say, I may involve myself more with Eurovision whenever the next one happens.
That is...
That's
I might watch some of it.
That's great to hear. Well, we love Eurovision, so it's good to have got a potential Eurovision convert.
Don't wish you luck. I may turn off it to spite you.
I did say potential.
Yes, you did. No, you did.
Do you have anything you want to plug?
Oh, hire me. I'm a good actor. No, not really. I don't really have any active projects on the go at the moment.
Can I plug for you your YouTube channel? You've got some episodes on a really great series, starting with Playtheft.
Just a couple of Play School parodies that I've really enjoyed doing. I was a children's entertainer for a while.
Okay, we'll link one of those in the description if you want to have a look.
Yeah, go for it. Now I'll have to make more. Thanks, Safe.
I honestly really like them. I laughed a lot. So
Yeah, they're so funny.
it's not
What I don't like doing this. It's difficult. I'm just going to show off some Auslan skills and say, yeah, there you go.
Thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments who you would have voted for.
And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button.
And please consider subscribing.
See ya!
Bye-bye.